Hey, let's clap it up for the bride and groom one more time here, huh? Hey, I'm Thomas Paulone. I just want to welcome everybody to the Rivers Casino, and on behalf of Jay and Donna Shrum, just want to welcome everybody again to Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania on this beautiful occasion. I've known Matt for 30 years, and I really got to give it was very fitting that I'm speaking after Brianna. Our older sisters played softball, and our mothers brought us to Wolf Field, and that's where I met Matt, 30 years ago. It was a great time, playing in center field at the playground. That's where I met Matt, and, a great friendship began. And one of the big decisions I made in my life in second grade, I got confirmed in the Catholic Church. It's a little different growing up Italian Catholic than Catholic. We'll talk about that at the open bar, okay? But one of my first big decisions was, I went to Sunday school. I had to pick a confirmation name, and it was a Sunday school teacher always to point us in the right direction on who to choose. And I picked Matthew, and I wrote a paper about it, and I think it was one sentence. I utilized this in college too. My one sentence was, I'm picking Matthew because of my best friend Matt. So that's how far back it goes with Matthew Shrum. So, it's been reflective, growing up with Matt. Again, he was always a really great friend of mine. Poor Donna Shrum's flowers, that backyard was a wiffle ball field for about 30 years. It's, he always spent the time to move her flowers because that's how much, his mom meant to him, and it was just awesome with the memories. And, I know I'm the one up here giving the speech, but, if you're here today and you got an invite from Emma and Shrum, I'll tell you wholeheartedly that Matt really cares about you deeply, and we really appreciate your friendship. So let's get a clap up on that. We really can never take away, I know there's a lot of old friends here like Mr. Shrum really hit on. We can't take away of our childhood and how we grew up, and Matt was a big part of that with, the common meeting ground with his house, and really ripping it up at Seneca and all the football games and all the football games. So I really appreciate our friendship, everybody here, and Matt would say the same thing if he was up here. So now, let me bring things full circle. Let me tell you what really went on when Matt met Emma, okay? Let me paint the picture for you. First time since 1985, SEC opponents at Heinz Field. Number 6, Tennessee. Okay? Night before, wasn't going to go to the game. Lost a heartbreaker at Jefferson Morgan. We lost on double post corner. 4th down on the 28-yard line. Miserable, right? Matt called me and said, look, if Tennessee's coming to town, you come to the game. I said, okay, maybe after the first quarter. After the first quarter, I arrive. It's halftime. It's a tie game. Pitt's in it. 17-17, right? Shrum tells me we're going to the upper deck to meet a girl that he just met at a tailgate. Matt, are you kidding me? We go to the upper deck, all right? Everyone's saying what Emma wore. Here's what Emma wore. White cowboy boots, Deion Lewis jersey, longer than her jean shorts. So I met Emma, right? They hit it off. It was a great time. Long story short, here we are today. So clap it up for that, please. By the way, we made it back to our seats, right? Shrum's texting them the whole time. And guess what? Pitt lost on 4th down and 28 on post corner. Are you kidding me? Same play we lost the night before. You can look up the highlights. True story. Malik Hooker back in the corner, end zone. Unbelievable, full circle. So I'll never forget that day because that's when my best friend met his wife, and we asked, and Jay alluded to it in his speech, why is it Emma, right? Why is it Emma? I think that Emma, growing up with Matt, Emma emulates a lot of the strong women in his life, all his life. Grandma Sturgis, right? Grandmother Shrum, Donna Shrum, and of course the bond that he has with his sister Brianna. Every talk that we've had growing up, he's always talked to Brianna about it, And she knows that's true, and he knows that's true. So that's why, Emma emulates a lot of the qualities that women in Matt's life holds. And you guys know that to be true. And, for Emma, she could speak for herself, but why is it Shrum? I could tell you that, being his best friend growing up, that Matt has always had my back. Through my darkest days, through the best times, Matt is the most loyal kid that, I've ever known. And I know a lot of you guys up here would say the same thing. So please clap it up on that. But there is one thing that Shrum brings to the table that is the most important thing of everything. Emma finally gets to experience winning high school football. Thank you very much. So the great thing about being your best friend, right? This is just part of the journey, right? The adventure continues. Salute the Shrums.